Hey there, people. This is Spirit of, and we're gonna talk about if Eau Sauvage by Christian Dior is still relevant today. And Eau Sauvage, for people that don't know, is a fragrance that is made by Dior, which is this fragrance is the inspiration for the name Sauvage for the brand that is so popular right now, and it was one of the most popular fragrances of the 60s, the 70s. Okay, so in that era, that was one of the most popular fragrances ever made. It is one of the first fragrance to make heavy use of edione, which is a molecule that replicates the smell of jasmine, but also of kind of a little citrus or something. So, is it still relevant today? I think so. Yes, I wear it all the time. I love this fragrance. From this first time I smelled it, I actually smelled it in the beginning of my fragrance journey. I was going to Sephora and trying on different fragrances, and I was stumbling across that one. At the time, I was like a newcomer into the fragrance world, and so I thought that it was like the first version of Sauvage, which it has nothing to do. Sauvage is ambroxan and very bass oriented, like very like yeah, bass heavy and everything. Eau Sauvage is more of a citrus, fresh fragrance that has like a nice overall roundness to it all, which makes it long lasting but still very citrusy and fresh. So it's completely two worlds apart. But I tried it, and I was really pleased. I think it smells excellent. It's kind of musky, kind of citrusy, very old school. If you if you try it today, you'll be like maybe some people will think of their grandfathers um, wearing it. Some people would say, "Oh yeah, it was super hot at that time. Guys were wearing this fragrance." Kind of has an elegance to it. Uh, it it is very elegant. I think it's super easy to dress up. I think it's super easy to get casual with that fragrance too. It just works so well all the time. Um, I think that the key to this is people who like me like to wear like a classic style of clothing, polos. Like I like wearing this kind of super simple jeans and a white t-shirt, but I also like to wear like extravagant shirts and I like ties and bow ties and stuff like that, and I like to wear a combination of all the classic, classic styles. Eau Sauvage is very perfect. I think that nowadays this classic kind of a, like shirts and blazers and stuff like that. Some people call it old money, kind of style. I think that Eau Sauvage, worn today by modern audiences, is kind of an like kind of an old money status kind of a fragrance. Works really well with a kind of very classic aesthetic. People that like to wear also I don't know, linen, during the summer, things of that nature, chinos, whatever. Classic. When you think about like the classics, people that like it's kind of a James Bond fragrance too, but James Bond conveys that whole, you know, elegant stature, worn in a more casual kind of demeanor. I think that, yeah, Eau Sauvage is pretty much this in a bottle. So I think that for a lot of people it works really well. Uh, One of the questions we might ask ourselves if we try to investigate if this fragrance is relevant today is that some of the musks used um, for the fragrance as an ingredient to the fragrance are actually the same kind of musks that are used into some laundry detergent, but also in a lot of bathroom cleaners, like public bathroom cleaners and stuff like that. Because it does smell really good, but also like it's gotten cheaper, so it's used more widely in different types of situations. So for that, I think it's a bit tricky. If really like when you wear it, you can only think of this kind of like discomforting bathroom smell or laundry detergent or whatever, and you think it that it makes it smell very cheap. I think that if you are the type of person that really sees that in that fragrance, I think it's not for you, obviously. But it's not this. I don't think it's something that's very widespread. When I wear it, I never. No one ever tells me that, and I have some very honest people in my corner who would tell me if I was smelling like a public bathroom. I hope so then, but whatever. And I don't get that feeling. I kind of understand where people are getting from on the internet with that, because there is kind of a similar scent profile to some part of the fragrance, but I think that the fragrance is perceived so much as a whole and not as like every component of it, that it's not like it's gonna affect anything really for me. And I think that the most important thing in that fragrance is like this kind of very uplifting, citrusy, light jasmine, very comforting scent. And the Edion has been shown to be a very powerful ingredient for the brain. It is very uplifting, and yeah, it gets people to smile. So I do think that when I wear this fragrance, I'm like, it gets me to smile. It just gets me to a nice, casual, very very like fun kind of a vibe. So I think it's a fragrance that works great for me. But normally, like typically, fragrances that would put me in such a like super casual and very fun vibe would be like fragrances that I would consider more in the realm of youthful or less elegant, maybe gym fragrances, uh, stuff like Sauvage and uh, even Lunarosa Carbon, or even all 1 million and Line and everything. I think that those fragrances are less elegant, and then it's less my vibe maybe. So I really like wearing Eau Sauvage from time to time just to get that. That being said, if you don't want to smell like very classic and everything, I think this is just really not your vibe. It's not something that everyone is going to like nowadays. It has this kind of old school vibe to it. It was still sold at Sephora when I like back in the day. So I mean, like there was like a younger audience that was buying it, like people maybe like me, stuff like people who like to wear classic stuff, and maybe some old people go to like older individuals go to Sephora to buy their fragrances. But I think that mostly like the people that are gonna be liking this fragrance is because they like the classic vibe that it gets, because it does smell classic. It does have this, uh, kind of elegance, old school elegance, that nowadays we're trading this off for like a lot of sweetness. And I'm not saying that in a way that it's like patronizing or like, oh yeah, the olden days were better. I don't think it is. I think that there was tons of fragrances during the 60s, 70s, and 80s that were total crap. We only remember the great ones like this and Dracar Noir and stuff like that, because they're so good, So because they were so good, they were so like. I think we're gonna remember Sauvage. I think that Sauvage and Prada and Rosa Carbon definitely can have like an elegant factor to them too. But I think that to make my point clear, if you are kind of a classic enthusiast, kind of a, all old money. I don't really like this term, but whatever. Kind of person, then Eau Sauvage will be perfect for you, and it's everything you want. It's still casual, it's still fun, it's still invigorating, energizing, happy fragrance, but it is like a lot more elegant, and it's a lot more classic. So I think that if you are into those types of things, if any of what I've said is like, oh yeah, I'd like to have like a classic fragrance, and then not go all the time with like Versace Eros, which is another amazing fragrance. I have Eros Flame, love it, but I think that if you are more of that type of person, then maybe you like to wear Eau Sauvage. I must also say that it is the like my grandmother's favorite fragrance. So every time I have like a dinner with her or anything, I always wear it, and she always likes me wearing it. So there's also that. Sometimes if you have someone in your life, like a grandparent, a parent that really likes that fragrance, it's fun. But it's also fun to create new memories with people. If you have a significant other, and you try it on, and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing! It smells super good," and maybe they haven't ever smelled it. A lot of the younger people, like me and like my generation, and people younger than me, have never smelled that fragrance any time in their lives. Maybe their grandparents, like their grandfathers, didn't wear any fragrance, so they're not used to that fragrance. Also, I don't think it like people don't really care, but just build new memories with different fragrance, and and if you have like a loved one, like my grandmother, which is very dear to my heart, that likes a fragrance, you'll wear it for her because it's so fun to have someone that really likes when you wear a certain fragrance. And like I said, just create new memories. Just associate with yourself with a classic fragrance, and people will create memories, set memories with that fragrance because they'll be around you, and that's very fun. I'll end by saying that Eau Sauvage is a terrific signature scent. If you want to wear it every day, every goddamn day, and summer and winter and whatever, this is your fragrance. It's just so good. It's just that good. It's very good. Works well. Projects long. Like uh, everything. The sillage, the projection, the longevity, everything is through the roof, and it's still very fresh and fun. So I think, and elegant. Like I said, it's this combo of everything that makes it so special. So I think it's signature scent worthy. I think more people should try it, and I think it's still relevant today. I think most fragrances still get relevant, but like I said, most fragrances back then were complete trash. So especially men's fragrances. I'm also saying if a woman can definitely wear Eau Sauvage and kill it. I think it's classically masculine. It's really created in that kind of masculine old school vibe. But I think it's a fresh citrusy fragrance. So there's tons of fresh citrusy fragrances targeted towards women that do exactly the same kind of thing. They're not too sweet, and they're pretty citrusy and floral, and they have like some woods and stuff, and they're very dense and complete. Well then, why not try Eau Sauvage? It's pretty cheap, and it works super well. So, all right. So spread love and spray love. Bye bye.